Hello and welcome to this session on find command. Let's first go over the objectives of this session. We'll first examine the structure of the find command. We'll break it down into sections like path, selection criteria, action. We'll then dive straight into command line exercises using find. We have many such exercises. I have broken down the find command into 4 colored boxes. The first one, of course, is the command itself in the gray box. Next, in the orange box, we have the path. This is the directory path where this find command should look for files. Next is the green box where we have the selection criteria. This is the criteria we use to select files or in some cases exclude files. The last one is the blue box where we have the action. The default action is the print action, which simply displays the resulting file names onto the screen. We also have other actions which we will see down the line. In this exercise, that is exercise number 1, our path, which is in the orange box, is dot, which means that find is going to look for files in the current directory. Please note that find does a recursive search by default. The selection criteria in the green box is -name *.c in single quotes. This means select all files with the file name that matches the pattern *.c. Finally, we have the action which we have given as -print, which is the default action. Instead of switching back and forth between the terminal and this presentation, I have taken a screen capture of the command invocation and pasted it on this slide. You can see the black terminal box here at the bottom of the slide. First, we did an ls and saw that there are 3 files in the current directory. One of them is a .java file and 2 of them are .c files. So when we invoke our find command on the current directory with the selection criteria as *.c pattern file names, the 2 files are returned which have the .c extension. This is the expected result. Let's move on to our next exercise, exercise number 2. Here we use a different selection criteria. Everything else like path and action remain the same. In the selection criteria, we use the -inum option. This is used to select a file or directory with a specific inode number. If you look below at the terminal screen capture, first we do a ls with the I option. The I option will list down inodes also in the first column. So you can see inodes for all 3 files listed. Our selection criteria is -inum 13331489. So as you can see, the file prog1.c is the only one with this inode number. So prog1.c is the only file that gets returned in the results. So we just learned another selection criteria through this example. Let's move on to the next one, exercise number 3. Again, we are only changing the selection criteria this time, keeping everything else the same. We will use the dash type option this time. The dash type option allows us to select files or directories selectively. The D we have given here will select only directories. If we give F, it will select only files. If you look at the terminal screen capture below, in the ls listing, you can find 2 directories and 3 files listed. The find command returned 3 results though, the 2 directories plus the dot directory. The dot is an implicit self-reference directory that is hidden by default, which is why it did not show up in the ls listing. So this is how we can use the -type option. Let's move to the next exercise now. Exercise number 4. Here again we use a different selection criteria, the -perm option. Perm stands for permissions. So this selection criteria is used to selectively pick files or directories with specific permission attributes. The ls listing shows 3 files. The first Java file has rwx, 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 the number representation of which is 777. The two .c files have the permission 664. In our find command, we give the -perm option as 777. So as you can see in the terminal screen capture, the find command only returns the Java file as it is the only file with 777 permissions. Let's move to the next one, exercise number 5. This time again, we are going to see a new selection criteria, -mtime. mtime stands for modification time. So mtime -2 means files whose last modification time is less than 2 days ago. In the terminal screen capture below, the ls listing of files shows the last modified timestamp also in the last but one column. But both myprogram.java and proc2.c were modified today, and today is June 3rd, whereas prog1.c was modified 2 days ago. So the find command does not return prog1.c, it returns the other 2 files. This is correct and working as expected. Let's move to the next one, exercise number 6. In this exercise, we are not going to learn a new selection criteria, but rather we are going to learn a couple of logical operators that can be used along with any selection criteria. First one is the not operator. The symbol is exclamation. So if you place this not operator as a prefix to the selection criteria, it has the effect of negating it. So in this example, our selection criteria is file names which match the pattern *.c. Because of the negation, the condition becomes all files with file names that do not match the pattern *.c. So you can see in the below terminal screen capture that none of the .c files get returned in the output of the find command. Let's move to another logical operator now. This is the next exercise, exercise number 7. In this one, we are combining 2 selection criteria. We will take the mtime and the type selection criteria and write it one after the other with a space in between. This creates a logical AND relation between the 2 selection criteria. So the find command will search for files which have last mod time less than 2 days and which follow the file name pattern *.c. There is only one file that matches both these conditions, proc2.c, so it gets returned. Let's move to the next, exercise number 8. We'll do something different this time. We will change the action. In all the previous exercises, we kept the same action. In this one, we have used -ls. The difference can be seen in the output of the find command in the terminal screen capture below. Instead of simply listing down the file names, find will now do a ls style listing of the files. So now you can see the permissions, string, the owner, last mod, timestamp, etc. just as you would see in a ls-l output. We will wind up our exercises now. We will end with a quick hands-on session on find. We are logged into our terminal in full screen mode. Let's first pwd and ls. Now let's execute our find command. Note that the path is not dot this time. Dot would restrict find to the current directory, which is the home directory. We want to search the entire root file system this time for any .c files. So we will give the path as slash instead of dot. Our selection criteria is star.c and action is the default -print. Now that's a whole lot of results. If you analyze the results, you will find that most of the lines have a permission denied message. This is because some of the directories were not accessible with the current login credentials of EC2-user. So find had to skip these. The successful matches are also there in between. So how can we reduce the noise? All you have to do is redirect the error stream to /dev/null. So first let's clear the terminal and repeat the last command. At the end, do a to greater than /dev/null. Let's see what happens. So the permission denied messages are gobbled up this time. Only the successful matches show up. With this hands-on exercise, we have come to the end of this session on find command. To summarize, we saw the arguments for find command, which are path, the selection criteria, and the action. We also saw many examples of selection criteria like name, perm, mtime, type, etc., along with logical operators like not and. We also saw the actions print and ls. That's it for the session, and I'll see you in the next one.